everyone who's on the call, if you have a question that you want to ask, go ahead and do it on menti.com. I can see a bunch of people are already asking questions. Don't forget to add your Discord name at the end of the question. So the top 5 questions are going to win name at the end of the question. So the top 5 questions are going to win some one flare tokens. So definitely add your name, because if you don't have your name and you're a winner, we don't know who it was. And it's better to put it in Menti rather than raise your hand. In Menti, people can vote for your question. And so if a lot of people like your question, they will give it a thumbs up and it will move to the top of the queue. And we will answer the questions based on how many thumbs up you have. Okay, awesome. So let's continue to share that link during the AMA, and I think we can get started. And this AMA will be recorded, Kylie.
Yep, it's currently being recorded, so feel free to send it to your friends after.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so Kylie, do you want to kick it off, and then we can get down to business?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kylie. Welcome to Pipeflare's first AMA. We're really excited to introduce the team. Jonathan, if you wanted to start.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, thank you, everyone. I know it's a busy time for everybody, so for you to come and join us in this AMA, it really means a lot to us, the team here. So we could talk about who's here. So Kylie is our marketing manager. So Kylie, if you want to say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, and we have Sam as well. You probably all have spoke to Sam at some point.
Greetings, everyone.
Yeah, and then we has probably talked to Joe at one point or another too.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all have fun.
Yeah, and Joe and Sam, how long have you been here? When did you join?
I think Sam came in just shortly after me, but it's been a little over a year now.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Very cool. And then we also have Andrea. Andrea, you can say hello if you have your mic on. Andrea is also on the marketing team. Andrea is in Colombia, not the country. So welcome, everybody. I guess I'll start off by reminding everyone that if you have any questions, go to Menti, click on the link, ask your question, make sure to add your username at the end of the question, because we will be giving out prizes for the best questions. And I'd like to start off by saying that it takes a lot of people to make a site like Pipeflare work. So we have a really sophisticated website that has elements of Web 2. It has elements of Web 3. It has elements of Unity, which is what we use to build our games. We're working on infrastructure to support the massive user base. We have customer service, we have design, we have developers. I mean, this is a huge undertaking, and there's a lot of long hours. In fact, we have a 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time meeting every single day of the week. So our days start at 10 p.m. Eastern. And we do that because we want to make sure that everyone in the community has a really reliable and fun experience. So I want to extend a thank you to everybody on the team, but also everyone in the community, and especially our ambassadors. Our ambassadors are doing a wonderful job and are constantly posting on Twitter. See them come up on my screen. And I think that a big reason why we're growing so quickly is because of the ambassadors and the great work that they do. So we've come a long way as a community since 2020. We launched with 0 users, and we now have over 800,000 on Pipeflare, which is really an enormous number if you think about it in just 2 years. A lot of companies would love to have 800,000 members in their communities. So with that being said, I'll just give you a quick overview of the AMA. So we're going to answer 5 questions that were community. We picked 5. We're going to answer those. It's not going to be just me. You'll hear from Kylie, from Sam, from Joe. And then we're going to answer 5 questions from you guys that are on the call right now. So the best 5 are the ones that we'll be answering. We'll try to keep it to 35 minutes. And that's it. So why don't we get started? And Joe, Sam, Kylie, do you guys want to do a quick intro or say anything?
I see questions keep pouring in, so please don't forget to add your username to enter our giveaway.
Okay.
One thing I would
perfect.
also like to add, please phrase your questions in English if possible.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
So I think I can understand a little bit of Russian, and Andrea can understand Spanish, but other than that, we'll be completely lost. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get started with the first question. So this was a really popular question, which is, how do you deal with a market crash, and do you burn OneFlare tokens? So not only for Pipeflare, but for the whole industry. So this is a time when really good projects that have good solid teams will prosper, and bad projects are going to die and go away. And I think that's great because there was a lot of garbage out in the crypto space 2 months ago, and you already in the crypto space 2 months ago, and you already see just after 2 months how many of those projects have disappeared. But we're still here, right? And we continue to make progress every day. So I think that we as a company will come out great when the next bull run is here, because we will be in a much better position than where we are right now. And why is that? It's because we keep investing in what makes the site great, which is incentives, games, fun, community service, customer service. So we actually haven't slowed down at all since the crash. In fact, we've launched a lot of new features in the last 2 months. So those of you who have been following Pipeflare, you know that we've launched a brand new NFT, which are the Pyro Mystery Eggs. We recently launched Rock, Paper, Scissors, which is our very first full blockchain game. Every transaction is going to be on the blockchain, so it's auditable and can be tracked with aggregators like DappRadar. We launched Pyro's Cave. We introduced the Bandit NFTs, and we recently brought on 2 new game developers and much more. That's really just the tip of what we've done in the last 2 months. List will know that we recently implemented a token burn. So starting July 15th, any user who is not active on our platform, meaning who hasn't made a claim, who hasn't made a referral, who hasn't played a game, basically a user who hasn't interacted in 12 months, their token who hasn't played a game, basically a user who hasn't interacted in 12 months, their tokens will be burned. So we already have almost 30 million Flare tokens that fall into that category. And that means that the supply of Flare tokens will be reduced as these tokens are burned. So, and then the next question, which I really like, is how do you deal with a rug pull? And unfortunately, we're in an industry where we have to worry about things like rug pulls. I have been part of 2 of them and lost, fortunately, only a very small amount of money. And so I'm deeply familiar, a very small amount of money. And so I'm deeply familiar with how frustrating it is to have your funds stolen from you. So how do we deal with a rug pull here at Pipeflare? Well, first of all, we try to be as transparent as possible. So if you go on our footer of our site, you will see every transaction that's taking place. Anytime we pay for a claim, anytime we pay for a game, all of that is public information. And so we're trying to give you, the community, as much visibility into what we're doing as possible. So that's number one. Number two, years. Rug pulls typically don't happen after the 2-year mark unless you're really playing a long game. We've been here a long time, and our team is public. We don't have an anonymous team. You can go on our team page. You can see my name. You can see the full names of everyone on our team. You can go look at my LinkedIn, right, and see my history in the Army, where I went to school, all of that kind of stuff. And so that adds to the transparency. And investors, we have really big investors that back this project. The first one you probably have heard of, which is Digital Currency Group. They're huge. They own a large piece of CoinDesk. They basically have 600 companies that they have funded. Horizon, which many of you know as well, is a top 100 blockchain project. And also Horizon Labs, which is the company that recently launched the Ape token. So doing very well. And one that recently launched the Ape token. So doing very well, and one of our backers. And so we need to maintain credibility with the community, because if we do something bad, our investors look bad. And we never want to make our investors look bad. We want to keep them happy. And that's why everything we do, no rug pull here. So I'll hand it over to Kylie. Kylie is going to talk to us about our new game, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and how exciting it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about to launch our first blockchain-based game, which is Pyro's Rock, Paper, Scissors. Professional supporters actually already have access to this game. So in this game, you will be able to wager your Flare tokens and compete against other players by selecting Rock, Paper, Scissors. So every hand that's played in this game gives players a chance to win crypto, free NFTs, and faucet multipliers. We'll also be introducing Pyro's Rock, Paper, Scissors airdrops, so stay tuned for more information on that. As we continue to develop this game, we'll introduce more exciting features like the bandits, neighborhood watch, and eventually land. I also have forgotten to mention that owning a Pyro NFT will heavily impact your game earning potential. So let's just say it's definitely in your best interest to have one. We're really looking forward to launching this game early next week. So keep checking back in for more updates on that. Question to Joe. So the next question would be, what kinds of rewards will be given for Pyro Mystery Eggs?
Hello, everyone. So yeah, the Pyro Mystery Eggs, a lot of you have probably received quite a few of them already. We have 8 different eggs. A few of them will be introduced drops or promotions, but a good majority of them you'll be able to actually win in Rock, Paper, Scissors, and hopefully in the future dropped within other games. You'll be able to get everything from various amounts of one flare to referrals, Pipeflare Marketplace NFTs. Explain a lot more on those later when we release them. And also Pyro Lands, which will be another type of NFT that we'll talk about a bit later when we're ready to release them. But it's going to be very exciting. We have millions of these eggs that we're planning on giving out over a period of time. And so far, going out over a period of time. And so far, quite a few people have gotten quite a bit of one flare already. I would say, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, we've definitely given out a lot of one flare, and one of the cool things is for everyone here that refers their friends and family, anytime they earn an egg, you will get an egg too. And so one of the things we're trying to do is continue to build out that referral program. For those of you that have been here a long time, you'll remember that when we first launched, the only way to make money was when your referrals made a claim. But now you make money when they purchase an NFT, when they buy a subscription, and now we're continuing to add things like eggs. So for someone who has a lot of referrals, this is going to be a great way to earn additional one flare. Awesome, Joe. Anything else on the eggs?
No, just stay tuned and look for all these different ways that we're going to be able to get these eggs out to you guys. There's a lot of great things in them, and hopefully you guys will be excited when you get them.
A Pyro's eggs page. So you'll be able to see how much of each egg is left and what the potential rewards for that particular egg are. So hopefully that will go live not this week, but next week. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Joe. So another good question and timely question. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Joe. So another good question and timely question. How are market fluctuations affecting your roadmap? So, as a CEO of a company, I think that this downward fluctuation that we're experiencing now it's a good time why we're here and why we're successful and really focus on that. And so after a lot of reflection, what I see is what makes us really successful are games and NFTs. And I think we need to lean really heavily right now into improving the games and NFTs. So, and I don't just mean NFTs that we've done forever, which is like an NFT that helps you in a game, but introducing new types of technology that are constantly coming out in the NFT space. For example, something that's really interesting to me are dynamic NFTs, NFTs that can interact with the website. So some of you might have heard about this. So for example, you might have, just off the top of my head, an NFT that changes after you play 100 rounds of rock, paper, scissors, or after you make 100 claims. So NFTs that can change, and that's really cool for me. And when things aren't going well in the marketplace, you really have to focus on that strategy. And I think we're actually really well positioned, partially because we have really good investors and we're properly funded. There's zero chance that we as a company are not going to be here at the end of this winter, because we have amazing investors that are really supportive with us. Of course, now is not the time to start increasing the team and spending money like crazy, but it is time to invest in those key initiatives like games and NFTs. And for those of you who've been here, that we've revamped already a lot of our games. So we revamped Stackbreaker, we revamped Flare Hit, where we just hired a third developer who started today, who'll be working on 2 new games, which will hopefully launch in the next couple of months. So games and NFTs, that's really where we need to focus. Our traffic and sales have actually gone up in this market, which is really amazing. I don't know exactly the reason why, but this downturn has been really good for us as a company. So with that said, I'll pass it over to Sam, who's going to answer a really tough question. What makes Pipeflare unique?
I love the tough questions. Honestly, this was an easy question for me, though. Pipeflare stands out from its peers in several ways. Time is limited, so I'm just going to touch on a few of these at a semi-high level. First, we have faucet behavior. Pipeflare has multiple non-know your customer coins all on one site. ZEC, Matic, OneFlare, SHIB. That's 4 coins you can earn, 3 of which can easily be swapped into other coins, whereas other sites, they offer strictly just 1 coin. For paid supporters, as you all know, for those who are hardcore or pro supporters, faucet hits are completely automated. That's one of my favorite things because I don't like to babysit faucets on a 24-hour timer. Pipeflare also has stronger payouts. Quick example. Pipeflare paid out over 10 times more on June 23rd than I earned on June 23rd. I also just earned a 3x faucet boost from rock, paper, scissors, so now the gap's even wider. There's no comparison. Second, as we've discussed, our NFTs have actual use cases. You can earn passive SHIB through faucet claims and airdrops, passive mystery eggs through airdrops, passive eggs through airdrops, passive OneFlare through staking up to a 3% boost, active OneFlare through rock, paper, scissors, which I'm earning quite handsomely these days. Pyro is also on the Polygon mainnet chain versus the Ethereum chain, so if you want to transfer or sell an NFT, you won't be paying any out. So, have looked at our roadmap. You can see all of that information. I also encourage everyone to look at CoinMarketCap's top NFT collections. Pyro already outperforms many of these collections. we're all just very early to the party. And finally, I would encourage you to consider our token One Flare. Supplies limited to 4 billion. Supplies limited to 4 billion, which, as Jonathan just said, will be reduced through a token burn of 30 million or more. That starts again July 15th. And just holding 500,000 One Flare boosts your staking APY by 2%. To me, that's a big difference maker. Also holding 1 million One Flare gets you a 3% staking APY boost, plus a 10% faucet boost daily. And holding 10 million One Flare gets you another 10% daily faucet boost, which is pretty huge. That's responsible for those huge payouts that I just mentioned. And we also have discount off digital merchandise. In the case of 35%, I'm talking referrals specifically. I have over 2,500 of those. As for staking, if you look at Kylie's emails, you can earn up to 53% APY through responding to those within a certain amount of time. There are more items I could discuss, but all in all, and if another site can rival that, let us know. I'd love to check them out personally. Next, we have Jonathan to touch on the current market situation, current instability, and how that relates to investors. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, Sam, thanks. You actually reminded me of a lot of things that I had forgotten about. So, yeah. So if you don't have a One Flare Millionaire NFT, that's a great thing to have, especially now when the market is down. You could pick up a million One Flare tokens, and it's not going to be, as expensive as it was 6 months ago. That's really nice of you to say. So, okay, so the question is, the current market situation is too unstable to retain investors. What are your thoughts? Well, it's a really complicated question. Here's the basics. And again, this is not investment advice. Markets, and again, this is not investment advice. Markets are cyclical. We have a lot of great features on Pipeflare that are going to let you ride out this market. Like Sam said, we have staking bonuses that can get up to 53% per year. I mean, you can't get that at a bank. I mean, keep in mind, Pipeflare is still really early in the stages of growth. So people here have heard of Sandbox, right? I'm sure everyone here has heard of Sandbox. It's when Metaverse started taking off, the Sandbox token skyrocketed, and they all of a sudden became overnight this amazing company. They have been around for 7 years, basically just taking it easy until one day they exploded. And that's actually how it happens often. It's very rare that you have a company that becomes an overnight success without years of hard work. I think that's where we are. We're in those years before that overnight success. So we're all really early to the party here. And some people can stomach the volatility of markets. Some people can't. The people, they invested when the markets were down, and they kept it through all of these cycles. Someone I work with bought Bitcoin at $40 and never sold it. He still hasn't sold it. So imagine the stomach of that guy and living through so many crypto winters and never selling. Some people are just built for that kind of stuff. Some people are not. And those are investors that will probably sell their tokens and in a couple years might regret it. Maybe not, you never know. But we're early to the party. Everybody on this, I really think that in this next bull run, we will be one of the companies that are going to come out really far ahead. So those are the questions for the pre-AMA. I think we should take some questions from the live AMA. Kylie, do you have a live AMA? Kylie, do you have a list of the top questions?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Okay.
Let me pull this
Now
up.
I'm going to start calling on people on the team to answer these questions. So get ready. And it could be you, Kylie.
I think I need to leave now.
So the first question is, when is the rock, paper, scissors bonus available?
Well, Kylie, that's perfect for you.
So the rock, paper, scissors bonus will be available when the game is launched early next week. But the game is already launched for professional supporters at this moment. That is one of the perks of becoming a professional supporter. You get early access to new features and launches.
Got it. Yeah, and like Sam said, Sam's already getting it because he's a pro supporter. So if you're a pro supporter, because he's a pro supporter. So if you're a pro supporter, you can get it now. Tomorrow, we're opening it up for hardcore supporters. And on Sunday, we're opening it up for casual supporters. And on Wednesday of next week, we're opening it up for everybody.
If I can flow, was 0.01 Zcash.
Yeah, mine was actually 105. I've never gotten, a lot of people may think that's little, but in any faucet I've ever partook in, I've never gotten $1 or more. I've never gotten $1 or more from a faucet a day. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Nice. Well, good for you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, just follow in Sam and Joe's footsteps and just play 7,000 rounds of rock, paper, scissors. You can get there too.
We're still getting votes on a few different questions. So this question has kind of been touched on, but where do you see Pipeflare headed in the next few years?
So that's a great question. And that's a question that I think about probably several times every day. So there's a couple things that I think the Pyro NFT, the 10,000 limited edition Pyros, is going to grow. And we're going to integrate Pyro into more things. So right now we have Pyro in our rock, paper, scissors game. And we have Pyro's Cave. So we're going to continue to add features to Pyro's Cave. And we're going to add features to Pyro's Cave. And we're going to continue to give perks inside games for Pyro holders. So right now, for example, Space Shooter is not integrated with Pyro. Stack Breaker is not integrated with Pyro. We're moving in that direction. Pyro is going to become the staple, the core of this site. And so everything that we build will be interacting with that Pyro in a positive way, obviously. And the higher your Pyro rank, the more perks you're going to get. So that's number one. Number two are partnerships. Today, we have a partnership with CoinMarketCap as part of their Diamond Rewards. Right? We saw a crazy amount of traffic today, almost 7 times what we normally get on a daily basis because of our partnership with CoinMarketCap. This is the 4th NFT that we're launching with them with Diamond Rewards, and they've been a great partner. 4th NFT that we're launching with them with Diamond Rewards, and they've been a great partner. And for us to be able to say that we partner with CoinMarketCap and have a great relationship is really powerful. And we're really appreciative to their team for involving us. You can see they tweet about us, they put us on their Telegram. It's amazing. But they're just one way to grow that list of partnerships. Today, I actually reached out to CoinGecko to see if they would want to work with us on their own rewards, which are called like candies. But that's just 2. We need to have dozens and dozens of partnerships. That's going to take us to the next level. So that's another thing in the next couple of years. And then next are games and so that's another thing in the next couple of years. And then next are games and specifically blockchain games. We're revamping pinball right now. We're introducing 2 new games that I think are really fun. We're launching rock, paper, scissors. And we're going to start focusing more on the actual blockchain games, not Space Shooter, that are built in Unity and don't interact with Web3. We really need to become a leader in Web3 gaming, not just gaming. And that doesn't mean we won't also have Web2 games, but we need to also build Web3 games. And it makes it a lot easier to integrate things like NFTs into Web3 games, NFTs into Web3 games, like Pyro into Web3 games. So those are the 3 things in the next couple of years: community around Pyro, partnerships, and games.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, so the be a username. Would you still like me to ask that question, or should I go on down to the next question within username?
No, let's ask the question, and whoever said the question, maybe send Kylie a message on Discord. But if there's 2 people who say it, that's going to be a problem. So if you didn't, don't message Kylie.
What can we expect of the price of one flare in the next bull run?
Yeah, if I knew that, I'd probably have the penthouse in the biggest building in Miami. I don't think anybody can tell you what the price of anything will be in a year, but there's some things I can tell you. I saw if anything will be in a year, but there's some things I can tell you. I saw an image circulating on Discord. Sam, did you have a chance?
I actually came across that. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can pull it up. I can drop it into the chat.
Put it in the general chat. Yeah. So I don't know what the price of one valued in this marketplace. And I saw this image and it made it even more clear. So check general chat. Sam is going to put this comparison of one flare and the value of one flare versus the other games that are on Web3. So, on Web3. So, we have more transactions and more users than a lot of games where the market cap is $300 million. It makes absolutely no sense to me how Pipeflare can have a market cap of $1 million when these games that volume and users are at $300 million or more. So we're so undervalued. And I think that even if we were to attain half of what these other companies are valued at, I mean, it would be a really big boost in price. Investment advice, but just logically looking at these numbers, it would be impossible not to draw the same conclusion that I just did. So, Kylie, why don't we go to the next one? That's a tricky question. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So the fourth question again, great. Yeah. So the fourth question, again, this question does not have a username. So if you ask this question, please message me on Discord. But the question is, when will OneFlare be available on bridges like Binance?
So we've already built the bridge. We just need it to get audited by a security company because it's dealing with people's money. And you see in the news a lot of these bridges getting hacked. So we don't want to release a product that isn't audited by a third-party security company. The bridge is done. We're just waiting for that audit. And these companies are so busy wait when we signed up just to have the chance to get audited, right? So unfortunately, we're just in a holding pattern and in a waiting game trying to get on one of these security companies' business development cycles. But the bridge works well. We just don't want to end up in a position where people are losing hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars because of something that we could have caught early on.
All right. Great, thank you. Okay, and then the last question, this one has a thank you. When will another game, mobile or desktop, be added to the Pipeflare games? I see the others on the page have not been added yet.
The others on the page have not been added yet.
I can answer this one, Jonathan.
Okay, sure.
Well, as Jonathan
you ask
pointed,
it?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
No, but as we pointed out earlier, we have a few more games that we're planning on launching in a few months, hopefully, if not sooner. But as far as our games we currently have that are not on iOS or may not be on Android. I think they're all on Android now. May not be on Android. I think they're all on Android now. But it's time consuming. With iOS is very picky on what type of apps or games can be on their service. If there's anything remotely close to that already on their service, they'll kick it back. If the app is laggy and there's a lot of bugs and they're getting a lot of complaints, they'll pull it and kick it back on us. So as far as iOS is concerned, we really have to make sure that when we add a new game to that platform, that it's running as tip top as we can have it. So they don't kick it out on us, and we don't have a lot of complaints. But yeah, all of our games that we have, we definitely want them to be on Android, iOS, and of course desktop. So hopefully that answers the question. And there's going to be plenty more games to come.
And I'll just add a couple more comments about games because I think it's really an interesting topic. And I'll give you one example of what Joe said. So we tried to put Flare Jump on iOS. We built the whole app. We spent weeks building it, and they rejected it because Flare Jump is too similar to another game on iOS. And they rejected it because Flare Jump is too similar to another game on iOS. We had another game that they kicked off because they saw that we were using Flare tokens, and they're very much against anyone using tokens where Apple doesn't make money from it, and so they kicked us off. They're very, very picky. Android is a lot easier, and that's why every game we have is on Android. So we don't particularly like working with Apple at this point with their games. But I can tell you, we have a lot of work to do with our games. Our games are fun, but there's a lot of improvements. Space Shooter, one of the things we're going to be focused. We need more types of ships. We need more types of weapons and shields and power-ups. We want to put some eggs dropping, Pyro's mystery eggs dropping in the game. We want to incorporate loot boxes into every game. Every game that we build should have some sort of a loot box. Every game we build should have some sort of a section where you can interact with friends, whether it's through Facebook or some other social engagement platform. And pinball was a game that used to be one of my favorites growing up, and we're turning it now this week into a game that I'm going to love to play again. This week into a game that I'm going to love to play again. So we're going through every game and making sure that it's going to be the best game that we could possibly build and continue to build on it, right? So if you like a game, you want it to kind of change as the site changes. For example, we introduced Ken because we built the games. We have complete control over these games, and we want to incorporate Pyros into every single one of them. It's going to take time, but that's the long-term vision. So I think that's it, right? Is that 5 questions, Kylie?
Yeah, that wraps up all of the questions. If you are either of the people who asked the questions without the usernames, again, please reach out so we can give you your prize.
Do you have the usernames of the first of the 3 people who did?
Yes, the three of the 5 I have.
Okay, great. I realized that someone didn't. Great. I realized that someone didn't put their whole Discord name, Shady Junior. So send Kylie a message just in case we can't find you on Discord. Well, awesome. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us on our first AMA. We're going to try to do this more consistently, especially in this kind of down market. It's important for us to be out talking to people, letting you guys know we're still here. And we know we're still here because we're working hard every day, but we need to communicate that to you as well. So thank you. Thank you for Kylie, Andrea, for putting this together, as well for your constant help with the community. And thank you to the rest of the team. Actually, we have another team member here named May, who's a project manager. She didn't speak, but she's one of the pieces that holds the team together and makes sure that everyone does their work on time when they don't do their work on time. So thank you, May, for that. And a big thank you to the community for joining us and always being supportive. So with that, we'll end our first AMA.
Jonathan, I got one more thing.
Sure.
Anybody that has any further questions, or if you have any questions whatsoever, if you're on Discord, so feel free to drop me a DM, and I'll try to help you out the best I can.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Joe. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good day. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
See you next month.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.